All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's Facebook Live education. Today, we are going to talk about myths and facts of the Poison Center. And my name's Amanda, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator and Nurse at the Missouri Poison Center. And with me today is Connie, and she is one of our nurses and certified specialist in poison information. Welcome.
Hi there.
All right, shall we go ahead and start? Let's look at our first myth. The Poison Center will report me to the authorities if my child gets into something bad. All right, we'll give it a minute. What do you guys think it is? You think that's a myth or a fact? All right, it is a myth. Tell us a little bit about that one, Connie.
All right, we are not in the business to get you in trouble. And if we were, I think I'd been in trouble about 3 times because I've called the Poison Center 3 times before I started working here. And remember the TV show that kids do the darndest things? Well, they do, right? So kids get into things that they shouldn't. And we want you to call us. We want you to feel very comfortable and let us know what happened. So no, we're not going to judge you. Kids do make mistakes. So please call us. We will not report you to the police.
Absolutely. I think most parents in their parenting lifetime do have to call the Poison Center. So that's very common. All right, let's take a look at the next one. The Poison Center is just for kids. So is that a myth or is that a fact? All right, let's take a look at that answer. Another myth. All right, let's hear about that one.
All right, the Poison Center is for everyone. However, 45% of our calls are kids, right? And then right behind it is us adults and about 32%. And adults do call us. We do have questions about just about everything. Can be anywhere from I took my husband's medications by accident. It could be that I mixed the wrong chemicals when I was trying to clean the bathroom because my in-laws were coming over. It could be just any other questions, maybe even in the workplace. Somebody got exposed to something. I'm at the first aid station getting cleaned up, and my boss is going to go ahead and call. So adults, please do call us. And even though we are affiliated with Cardinal Glennon, does not mean that we just do kids. We do both 0 to 110 or more.
Or even more. Who knows?
More.
All right. Let's look at the next statement. All right. The next statement, child-proof packaging will always protect my kids from poisoning. Let's see if that's a myth or a fact. All right, another myth. Imagine that. All right, tell us a little bit about that one.
Okay, so child-proof packaging does not mean that it's child resistant. It's basically meant to slow a child down. So I know we're busy, we're trying to cook dinner, we want to keep our child entertained. So what do? All right, we give our child a pill bottle to shake. This is a rattle, y'all. This isn't. Okay, so what happens if you give your child this? They start messing around with it. They are autonomous, all right, especially 2-year-olds. They're very independent. Me do it. I'm going to do it, mama. Their fine motor skills are developing. They're very interested in this. We're going to open it up and they're going to get the cap open. I have a hard time getting things open, but you give it to a 2-year-old, are you kidding me? They're going to open that thing up. Or if they're shaking it and that cap, it may not be on just right because grandma can't tighten it up because it's just too hard for her. So she leaves the cap really loose. That baby shakes it. Cap flies off, pills go everywhere. Now we have an ingestion. So just make sure that your pill bottles are up, out of the way, not on the countertop, not on the kitchen table, up, out of sight. We're out of sight, out of mind for the kiddos, okay?
Absolutely. What about those pill planners or pill boxes?
Oh, geez. Okay, so I have one right here, pill planner. They look fun. They sound fun. There's 7 days in here. Okay, I shove all my vitamins in here. I've got about like 7 different vitamins and supplements. These pop open really easily. So give it to a 9-month-old. I'm not going to put this in my mouth because I don't know where it's been. But they take their teeth, pop it open. And I will tell you that my 3-year-old at the time, he's 14 now, got into my dad's heart medication. Ate 2 days worth. It was on Christmas night. We spent intensive care on Christmas because he got my dad's heart pills. It happened just like that. I mean, just like that. So
yeah, especially important when kiddos may be at grandparents' house or with somebody who is visiting. These pill planners.
We were at my sister's house. My dad had set the pill planner down on the ottoman. We had just sat down for Christmas dinner, getting ready to open up presents from Santa Claus, like after the fact. And all of a sudden, my son, we hear my sister screaming, and he had popped open the pill planner just because my dad set it down. I mean, it was just that quick.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's take a look at the next one. All right. If I swallow a poison, I should make myself throw up. Is that a myth or is that a fact? All right. Another myth. Here we go. What's up with that one?
All right, guys, we do not want you to induce vomiting, and we really don't recommend it. We did it back in the day. So when I was a brand new nurse, I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but we induced vomiting, and we even gave syrup of ipecac. And there might even be some in grandma and grandpa's medicine cabinet, but we don't recommend that. And I know there's charcoal tablets out on the market now. We don't recommend those either. Okay. If you induce vomiting, there are several things that can happen. So if you look at our fingernails, some of them we really have nice long fingernails. When I was a medic back in the day, showed up on scene, lady was profusely bright red blood coming from her mouth. Open it up. She had tried to make herself vomit, and she had cut the soft palate. So that soft part, take your tongue, feel it. She had lacerated the back of her throat from trying to make herself vomit. So imagine you're in the heat of the moment, your child just ate something, and you take your finger and you stick it in the back of that child's throat. The child vomits. Now we've got a cut. Let's say you're using something else like a toothbrush, okay? Imagine the trauma that can happen to that. If you try to induce vomiting on someone who's very drowsy, the vomit comes up, they take a breath, that vomit goes back into their lungs. Now we've got a huge other medical problem. And the other thing too is people try to think of old-fashioned concoctions like salt water, hydrogen peroxide. Those are a whole other bucket of bees. So especially salt water, that can end up being a lethal issue. So don't do anything. We'd rather you call or like if there's an ingestion, just call us, let us know what's going on, and then we'll figure out how to take care of it.
That's great advice. Yeah, lots of people think to sort of these old remedies to kind of help themselves with a potential poisoning, but the best option is always just to call and get that medical advice. So great information. All right, next one. The Poison Center can only help with poisonings that are in the home. All right, is that a myth or fact? I bet you guessed the pattern. It is another myth. All right, go ahead with that one.
Okay, so a lot of poisonings do happen at home because that's where we spend the most of our time, right? But we do get calls from schools. School nurses call because kids, again, do the darndest things. So we have a lot of these silly TikTok challenges that happen at school. So we're going to get calls from school nurses. We get calls from prisons. We get calls, obviously, from hospitals. We will get calls from workplaces, and then some veterinarians even call us. Now, I want to say that we do not specialize in animal toxicity, but we will try to help you the best that we can. We do have some references we can give you, like some phone numbers that you can call, but ultimately we do want you to call your vet. But the veterinarians will call us and say, okay, I know this is not like, I know this is adult medicine, but tell me what would happen. And then the vet will kind of translate it into his animal proficiency or his, his vet mind, and then he'll take it on further than that. But about 28% of our calls do come from hospitals. And what we do when an overdose comes in or an exposure of any sort comes into the emergency room, the doctors, nurses, maybe even pharmacists will call us. And then we give them information on how to treat. And then we kind of follow up on that patient's travel throughout the hospital course. So we get calls from everywhere. I mean, it could be at home, it could be at the park. It's just, we spend all of our time at home. So that's where the majority of our calls come from.
All right, very true. All right, let's look at the next one. I need to pay money to use the Poison Center. Is that a myth or a fact? All right. Your big reveal is that it is also a myth. Tell us about that one.
Okay, so it is free to call us. And remember when grandma said you ain't gonna get nothing for free? Well, you will. You will get a free consult, and you'll talk to a nurse, you'll talk to a pharmacist. And what we do is we'll give you an answer on what to happen or what's going to happen with your child or you. And we'll try to keep you at home. If it's something that we can't keep at home, if it's something pretty serious, we will send you into the ER. But yeah, it is a free service. So grandma was wrong for once, all right? But you know, when we keep you out of the emergency room, it's an unnecessary hospital visit. It's an unnecessary copay. And we all know that the ERs are just inundated with overflow, especially with COVID. They're just overwhelmed. So we try to keep that, and we save the United States, just poison centers in general, and Missourians like millions and millions of dollars, keeping you guys home and safe.
That's great. That's great information, because if we don't need to be in a hospital at this time, especially in the last year, it's really important to keep those resources with those who are really sick. And we will follow up and make sure you get the correct information, treatment, from a registered nurse or pharmacist. So that's great information. All right, let's take a look at our last one. Actually, it's not quite our last one, but let's look at the next one. It takes a long time to call the poison center. Is that a myth or a fact? All right, another myth. Let's hear about that one.
Okay, so the average call to speak with one of us is about 4 minutes, and we usually answer a call within about 20 seconds. And we want to make sure that while we're speaking with you, that you understand our treatment guidelines. So we're going to give you some instructions on first aid, whether it's just a quick brushing of the teeth and a quick cup of milk, or if it's something more intense. All right, so we want to make sure that you understand that. And we also have a follow-up call. So we'll say, hey, call you back in an hour, 3 hours. It kind of all depends on the substance. But what I don't want you to do, which leads us to our next slide, I don't want you to go to Dr. Google. Okay.
Oh, I revealed it, but the internet will have the information I need to treat a poisoning. It's a myth. It is. So tie it into that one, Connie.
Okay, so just the other day, I had a mom call me and she said that her child ingested XYZ product, and she had been Googling, so attention, Dr. Google, right? She'd been Googling for 20 minutes on this product, and then she saw like there was just life-threatening side effects, and then there were no side effects. So she's like, I'm just gonna call and get the right information. So she spent 20 minutes. All right. So if our average talk time and giving you information is 4 minutes, you can do the math. She wasted 16 minutes to talk to us, or she wasted 16 minutes to research. So if the ingestion would have been something like really serious that has a really quick onset of symptoms, that could have been detrimental. All right. So please do not page Dr. Google. All right. I'm sure you've seen that before, paging Dr. Google. Please call us, because the information that you go to, is it a forum? Is it a website? You can't trust if it's legit or not. We are certified staff. All right. And if there's something, honestly, that we can't figure out ourselves with our education and our resources, we do have a toxicologist that we will consult free of charge. Okay. So please do not go to the internet. One internet site I do want you to go to is down at the bottom.
Dun, dun, dun. There it is. It's www.missouripoisoncenter.org, which is our site, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So the Poison Center's website is one information resource online that is reputable, as well as other poison centers across the country. And so while we would want you to call for that first aid information with an exposure, you can go to our website to get lots of free things. So free resources and magnets, free lesson plans, free information about products and trends. There's a blog on there. There's games on there for you and your kiddos to play. And so there's lots of great information on there. And the Poison Center information line, or the Poison Helpline, is really the number one thing we want you to take note of. It's been on the screen. It's 1-800-222-1222. And if you have a moment, grab your phone right now and actually put it in your phone. Absolutely. There you go. She's got it, because you never know when you need the Poison Center. And often, Connie, and I know working on the hotline, you hear that panic in a parent's voice,
Right.
and they're worried. Absolutely. And the number just doesn't come to your tongue and your fingers quick enough. But if you have that number saved in your cell phone, you can pop it in and click on it. We've also learned that some of the smart speakers now, the Alexa and the Google speakers, if you ask to call poison control, will do that as well. So lots of different ways. But if you have that number handy, that's the best way. And we encourage everyone to share that with someone they love. Give it to a grandma, a babysitter, teacher, anyone that you care about, because it's really important to have that number handy. Absolutely. All right. Is there any questions that the group might have? And I want to tell Gabby, thanks for playing along. She's been putting a couple myths in there. She's done a great job answering our questions online. Anyone have any questions? We've got a great specialist right now on that would love to answer anything. And the crickets chirp. Well, feel free to call anytime. You actually can even call the poison hotline with questions, questions related to medication, potential exposures. You don't have to have an emergency to call the Poison Center. You just need to have it available and call. So we want to wish you a great day, a happy Tuesday, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Thanks.